What's this whole goat thing about? And why is there no video? This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to record or say or admit in my life. It's time to just come clean and be honest. My daughter's 4 years, going to be 4 in a few weeks. My son is 1 year old. I'm scared as hell of losing my kids to the world. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Everything's just so messed up nowadays. My daughter's got to go to public school soon. And that scares the hell out of me. Because I watch this kid, right? If you have kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're sponges. And they just soak in everything around them. And the other day, my daughter did something that she shouldn't have. And as I'm trying to figure out, what the best course of disciplinary action is, I realize that my daughter is just doing what I do. She's just copying my really, really, really bad habits. That was like a slap in the face to me. And she's picking up the bad habits. What about the good ones? Well, maybe that's the problem. There aren't too many to pick from. One of my dreams in life is to start an Orthodox school where I can send my kids and know that they won't be brainwashed by all the garbage in this world. Have you ever said that to yourself? Wouldn't it be great if we had an Orthodox school? And what do you say right after that? Oh, well, can't be done. We need money, we need teachers, we need X, Y, and Z. And you give up. You ever done that? You daydream about it. You think about how great it would be if we can get all of our kids together and make a school and give them the skills that they really need in life. Give them the skills to get to heaven and to become saints. And then we give up. We give up. Man, that's the problem. I give up too easily. Okay, so I need money to start a school. What's money? How much money is my child's life and soul really worth? That's the question I've been asking myself. What's too much? I have no idea what it costs to start an Orthodox school. But I already gave up. I went to public school. But I had something in my life, someone. That's the problem. I have so many people in my life, so many just awesome people who are there every single step of the way, who believe in me, no matter how absolutely insane I come across. Even if I have to walk up to them and say, "Will you help me feed a goat?" without any explanation, I have people in my life that will say yes. They don't care about the details. And then I realized that if those people came to me and asked me to feed a goat, I'd laugh them off. I absolutely would. So I'm not blaming you by no stretch of the imagination for not helping me feed a goat. Because how crazy is that? Some random guy walks up to you and says, will you help me feed a goat? But it's true. I need your help to feed a goat. I also need your help to just help a lot of people. There's people in my life I call every few days because they know that I work in fundraising. I work for the Fund for Assistance to the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. It's one of the best jobs in the world. Because I get to help people for a living. That's what I do. But what happens when people come into your life who need help and you can't help them through your organization because, well, we help specific groups of people in the church, clergymen, youth, missions. But these are everyday people. These are people who stand next to you in church. And one of the most difficult parts of this is that they're ashamed to ask for help. For some reason, these teddy goats, I'm going to call them, they're just this breed of people that will give you the last shirt off their back, that will bend over backwards, that will do anything. If you wanted to hypothetically, start a park behind your church and you needed someone to gravel the roads or whatever it is, I mean, a teddy goat will come and help you. A teddy goat will dig your grandfather's grave, absolutely. You won't think twice about it. A teddy goat, it's one of the most amazing goats in the world. They're tough, teddy goats. They got iron stomachs. But yet they're ashamed to ask for help. And that's one of the most humbling feelings in the world when someone comes to you and says, can you help me? And you see they're ashamed. But what's even worse than that is not having the means to help them. I'm not a rich man. And maybe that's one of the reasons I'm not. It's because I just, I give away too much money. But do I really not have the means to help these people? And they start building up. And I have a list of about 12 people that really, really have nowhere else to go in the entire world. These people are your neighbors. They stand next to you, shoulder to shoulder in church. And they're hurting. So what am I supposed to do? I say, sorry, I can't help you. But then it starts eating away at me. And eating away. And eating away. Because I can help these people. I just don't want to. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to look you in the face and say that I'm just a guy who needs your help. Try saying that to someone when you really need help. Try walking up to someone and looking them in the eyes and say, I'm just a guy who really needs your help. Before you pick up the phone, before you talk to these people, you have this anxiety. You have this fear that you're not going to be able to explain to them why. Because if I started listing the reasons why I need to help all these teddy goats, we'd be here for days. These are amazing people. And before my grandfather died, 90% of these teddy goats would come to him for help. And no one ever knew this, but my grandfather helped so many people behind the scenes without telling anyone. I know that because he would give me envelopes of cash to quietly go and to give to people, neighbors. He never told anyone about it. The only reason I knew is because his legs didn't work. If he could walk, he would have brought that money over there himself. So what am I supposed to do now? Walk away? Say sorry? He's dead now, I can't help you? What kind of a person does that make me? What kind of an example am I setting for my daughter? Can't build her a school. Can't help people. And then I get mad. And she just starts acting like me. Selfish. Yeah, it looks pretty when I talk to you on camera for work. Yeah, I'm kind of a hero, right? Oh, look at this guy helping people, but I get paid for it. What am I doing besides that? I go to church, I throw a few dollars in the plate, and I say, that's enough, because I help people for a living. I'm not a hero, folks. I'm the anti-hero. The heroes are the teddy goats. Because one of the 12 actually has goats. And one of those is named Teddy. And he ain't your average goat. He's a mean, feisty, pesky goat. He's a cussing, smoking, spitting, drinking, knock your trash cans over, nasty goat. You need a lawnmower, you call in a teddy goat, because this goat will tear everything up in his way. But this is the type of goat, in his spare time, what teddy goats do. Him and his wife, they find wounded animals. Animals that were hit by cars and have nowhere else to go. They're lying on the side of the road with broken limbs and all sorts of other problems. Teddy goat's not rich. In fact, the teddy goats are broke because they're feeding the goats. And they are ashamed to ask for your help. And I've been one hell of a lousy friend for not helping them. So here's what I decided to do last week. I decided that I'm not going to wait anymore. And then I'm just going to come out and I'm going to help as many people as I possibly can until I've driven everyone up a wall on the internet. I will not stop helping these teddy goats, because these teddy goats would never, ever stop trying to help me if I needed it. And for my daughter, okay, I may not be able to start a school for her right now, but I want to do something for all the kids. For every single kid that's glued to a television or just needs someone to give them a nudge. I want to create a kids show. I'm already working on a kids show. I have reached out to 200 of the most creative people that I know in my entire life. And I didn't know what to say to them. I just said, I'm just the guy who needs your help. Will you help me feed a goat? And they said yes. But they're like me. They're not rich. Us creatives types, We rarely ever get rich because we're dreamers. But these creative people, I've just been contacting them and throwing all this at them and saying, what are we supposed to do right now? What are we supposed to do? And the problem is that, as I realized, that there's just no magic left in the world. Magic, Peter? Really? Seriously? Yeah, magic. Because magic is just a metaphor for faith. And I lost the magic. Because I don't give my kids enough attention. That's the reality. I sit with them, I play with them, but my mind is somewhere else. At work, trying to help these people. It's like a rock. It sits on your shoulders. I walk out of my office every day and I look at that list of 12 and I don't know what to do. But these creative types, oh my goodness, within just a few days, without even knowing that they're working together, they have put together the most spectacular, just world-changing thing. I want to call it a show. I want to call it a movie. I'd like to call it a book. But it's not, because it's all of those things together and then some. There's a scavenger hunt across the entire globe. There are clues. There's wholesome family entertainment for children. And not just some guy talking about the faces of Rokor. Because kids, they won't understand that. But what if I wanted to tell my kids about their great-grandfather that they'll never meet? A man who changed my entire life. Just flipped it on its head. And not just my life. There's thousands of people out there, and I'm hope and pray some of them are listening to this right now. Because you know what it's like when someone comes out of the blue, just like an angel, comes into your life and just somehow makes everything better. And it's not always about money. In fact, it's almost never about money. But if I'm going to talk to my kids about my grandfather, well, how? What if I made him a goat? And what if I took all the people in my life who have helped me and turned them into cartoon characters? Well, now we have something. Now I can talk to my children about real life problems and still just be talking about a goat. This is just the tip of the iceberg. On July 25th, at 11:30 a.m., I will release a video to show you what 200 creative people working virtually blind, literally, my closest trusted advisor on this project is a blind guy. And I hate to admit it, but it was the blind guy that got me to see that this is what I have to do. So I'm walking out onto water right now. That was the first entry in my grandfather's journal. There's two ways to live. Walking, measuring, calculating, thinking. Or you can walk on water. You can walk on water. But the only problem with walking on water is that one moment of doubt and you begin to drown. And I'm drowning. And I really, really need your help. I'm nobody. I'm just a guy who needs your help. Will you help me feed a few really hungry goats? Help me, please. And on July 25th at 11:30 a.m., for all those who did help, I'll show you what you did. This is insane. I need $200,000 by July 25th, 11:30 a.m. We're going to help a lot of goats, a lot of goats. And then after that, it's time for all of us to stand up and do something for our kids. So long as we keep feeding the goats, we'll keep producing shows. Let's just make a difference. Please go to www.pascha.life, PASCHA.life. Help me feed a goat. Thank you so much. Christ is risen.